ensemble of Eskwelahan Filipino, or Philippine Cultural School. The ensemble has been featured in the Boston Globe. They've also done numerous tours overseas, including performances for former Philippine presidents Corazon Aquino and Fidel Ramos. Without further delay, I would like to introduce to you the director of Eskwelahan Filipino, Cristina Castro.
Thank you, Rob. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. That is Tagalog, meaning good morning to you all. Can you say maganda? Umaga sa inyong lahat. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. The group you will see this morning are all, well, mostly school children also, just like you. They had to get out of school because they'd rather be here with you than be in school. How about that? Yay! Anyway, the introduction is overwhelming because this group is not really the group that went on 3 overseas tour yet. Only 5 are veteran members, you see it in your program. And the rest are all new members, but very promising members who might someday go on a tour if, they qualify. It's a hard test. They have to audition when we go overseas. Now, Eskwelahan Filipino has been in existence since 1976. We developed this school for our little children, just like you, from 3 years old until 17, so that they can learn about their culture, their parents' culture. Because the parents came here and stayed here, had their children here, but they wanted their children to learn about their culture. That's why we established the school. And that was 25 years ago. And we're all volunteers. Unfortunately, we can't live on the wages that we get from Eskwelahan Filipino because it's free labor. So I would like to invite everybody to our 25th anniversary, which is happening on June 9 at Regis College in Weston. And you will see little kids performing. As I said, 3 years old, 5-year-olds, they're all performing, acting, singing, dancing in this program. So I think it'll be a very enjoyable experience for you. Today, we will start out with a dance called Benguet. Now, as you know, the Philippines is composed of many, many, many islands. Can you guess how many islands? 100? 14. Well, try 7,000. More than 7,000 islands. What? 25. Well, it's many, many, many 25s. But not all of those islands, you have people living in them. There are only 3 very big islands where people live in the islands of Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, which means that we have different cultures. There are different dances, different songs from each of these places. Just like you would have a different dance from New York, different song from the ones in the South, right? Different kinds of music. That's what we'd like to show you this morning. The first dance is from the mountain tribe called Benguet. So this is the Benguet dance. And they are not, well, they worship nature. So they pray to the trees, the flowers, the insects, and they have dances for everything. They have dances for a good harvest. And this is what they're going to do today. They're dancing because they had a good harvest. And the second dance you will see comes from the south. It's called Katsuduradan. This is the way the maidens in the court walk when they are going to a royal court. So the dances that you will see today are very special. Now, I'm supposed to keep talking until they're ready. Is there something you want to know about the Philippines that I haven't mentioned? Little boys and girls. What? You have a question?
Ellen, do you have a question to ask about
I see a hand up there. What's your question? You forgot it. Well, try to think of it. Next. Oh, this little girl? Okay. Oh, they're coming. They're almost ready. Are you ready, dancers? Yes, they are. So here are the Eskwelahang Filipino dancers. Before I forget,
Caleb, you okay?
the music that they will use is very different from the music you will hear later on. They only use this gong. This is the music that you will hear when they're dancing. This is a gong from the Mountain Province. This is authentic. We imported this from the Philippines. Okay, now we journey to the big island of Luzon, where the rondalia is very popular. Would you like to know a little story about how the name rondalia came about? Yes? Okay. A long time ago, the Spanish people colonized the Philippines, and so they introduced the music to the Filipinos. Now, they did not have enough guards, so they recruited Filipinos to guard the mansions of the officials. And the officials tried to keep awake because it's a boring job. You know, it's all night, you're just going around and around watching, guarding the mansion. So they decided that they would make music. And this rounds in Spanish is called ronda. And alia means there. They didn't want the Spanish people to know what they were doing, so they were very quiet. They played music very quietly. So their superiors would shout out every now and then, ronda, alia, meaning guards. Are you out there? So finally, the folk people started to call these guards and the music rondalia. And that's how it came about. Now, rondalia instruments are composed of little, like guitars. The only difference is it has 14 strings. Can you count to 14?
Yes.
Let me hear you count to 14. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
stop! 14. That's all the strings they can handle. Even that is very hard because they have to tune each string. And because of the weather here, it's cold, it always gets out of tune. So sometimes when they are performing, they have to stop and tune up because the weather and the cold weather makes them go out of tune. So be kind when they're out of tune because it's really very hard to keep it in tune in this kind of weather. But the rondalia that you're going to hear today will be composed of music that's very Spanish influence. So if you hear a tune that will make you want to clap your hands, do it. Okay? So clap your hands in the rhythm. That's my signal to stop talking. Okay? This is the guitarist, Francis, who's a new recruit of the rondalia ensemble. He joined our Christmas caroling and didn't know he was going to get hooked because we needed someone with a guitar. And we have two parents. They call themselves recycled teenagers because they're the only older people in the group. This happens to be Dr. Indriga, who had 4 children in the rondalia, and my husband, who's handling the bass guitar. The rondalia ensemble is composed of banduria, laúd, octavina, and the rhythm section, guitar, and the bass. So this is a very important part of rondalia. I will stop talking, and they will just keep on playing until the end of the program. There's one word I want you to leave this place with. They're going to end with mabuhay. You say mabuhay? Mabuhay. 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 Loud, because it's a greeting, and it should be said with gusto. Mabuhay. Okay, don't forget that.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1.
Where's my jacket? Mommy took it.
Oh, yeah, do that. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 1.
Make me come and sit here.
Hey!
What I forgot to tell you about this group is it takes a long time for them to learn to play and move. Because at the beginning they could play, but they could not move. They forgot to play. So it takes years of practice for them to be able to move and play and dance at the same time. Because it takes a lot of coordination. This is what is unique about this Rondalia ensemble. Because most Rondalia ensemble just sit, read music, and play. Our players are required to memorize all their pieces and choreograph their movements according to the music. And what is also unique about this group is that they're all second generation Filipino Americans. They did not learn this or didn't grow up in the Philippines and learn the music there. The first time they held a bandurria was here at Eskwelahang Pilipino. So, another round of applause. And thank you, you've been a great audience.